What do you do when the person you thought was your future trades loyalty for luxury and comes crawling back after it all falls apart? My name is Lucas. For most of my 20s, I believed Tessa and I were untouchable. We met during our second year of college. I was enrolled in a technical institute for environmental landscaping, learning the art of irrigation and hardscaping. Tessa was studying marketing at a private university across town. Sharp, relentless, the kind of girl who carried herself like the world was already hers. I first noticed her while I was fixing a mounted projector in one of the university auditoriums. She was presenting her group's semester campaign. Confident, poised, in a sleek white blouse and crimson lipstick. Afterward, while everyone filed out, she stopped, looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You just saved my grade. Let me buy you coffee." That coffee turned into a dinner. The dinner turned into late-night walks. By winter break we were inseparable. I was fascinated by her vision. She said she loved that I was grounded, that I got my hands dirty for a living. "You're a blue-collar Picasso," she'd tease as I drove us to job sites. She'd sit in the passenger seat reviewing her class decks while I calculated sod ratios. Our worlds didn't clash, they merged. After graduation, Tessa landed a job at a high-end branding firm downtown. Meanwhile, I turned my landscaping gig into a full-fledged company. Just me, a trailer, and a truck handed down by my dad. She helped me rebrand. New logo, a refined pitch deck, even a business Instagram. Thanks to her connections, my client list doubled. We were thriving, or at least I thought so. Her friends, though, Aria and Vanessa, never took to me. PR women with filters for faces and personalities sculpted from reality TV scripts. The first time we met, Vanessa raised a manicured brow and said, "So, you're the yard guy?" Tessa laughed. "He owns the company." But her smile faltered. I saw it. After a while, it became harder to ignore the shift. Tessa began coming home later, wearing things she couldn't afford a year ago. Aria once joked at a rooftop dinner, "You're still driving that truck with mulch in the back, Lucas?" Tessa just sipped her wine. The space between us widened. At night, she'd scroll through pictures of yachts, candlelit terraces in Santorini, and perfectly groomed men in tailored suits. I'd be next to her, stained from fertilizer, fingertips blistered. Then came Tuesday. That Tuesday, I had just returned from a grueling double install. Turf, stone edging, drainage. My body was wrecked, head buzzing from heat. I opened the front door, and there she was, seated like a porcelain statue on the couch. "Can we talk?" she asked, perfectly composed. My heart thudded. She didn't hesitate. "I think we need a break." "A break? From what?" "From us. You're building something. I see that. But I've changed. And that's a bad thing." "No, but I can't pretend we fit the same anymore. My friends, they've opened my eyes. They think you're not in my league." I blinked. "And you?" She didn't answer. "So this isn't a conversation. It's a press release." No reply. I grabbed a duffel bag, packed for a week, and left. Didn't beg, didn't scream. Just walked. I crashed at Jalen's place, my trade school buddy who ran a tile and flooring business. He gave me a beer, a spare key, and said, "Guest room's yours until further notice." A day later, Instagram shattered the last pieces of my disbelief. First photo on my feed. Tessa, clinging to Archer Lang, a finance influencer with a jaw like chiseled arrogance. Caption, "Power couples win together." I wasn't angry. I was embarrassed. She hadn't needed space. She needed a trade-in. Weeks passed. I buried myself in work. Hired a new team lead, chased commercial contracts, updated our service packages. I wasn't thriving yet, but I was too busy to bleed. Then one night, Jalen handed me a beer and sat down in the garage. "You hear about Archer?" I shook my head. "Caught with some Instagram model. Miami hotel. Total cliché." I raised a brow. "Word is Tessa found out from one of his friends. Arya says she's been ghosting everyone. No more rooftop selfies. No brunches. Nothing." I didn't feel victorious. I felt vindicated. Then came the text. Can we talk? We met at a cafe. She wore sunglasses indoors, eyes swollen. Her voice wavered. I made a mistake. I didn't respond. I thought I was upgrading. But I was blind. I should have defended you. I nodded. But you didn't. I'm not asking for us to restart. I just needed to say it. Leaned back. You said it. She watched me, waiting. I offered nothing. But she didn't stop there. Over the next few weeks, came likes on my photos. Then texts. Remember that old taco stand? Passed by our park. Missed that view. I stayed neutral. Until the night she showed up at my usual bar. Red lips. Nervous smile. Didn't know you still came here. I laughed once. I don't change for trends. Then I heard from my subcontractor, Elio. He had just finished a koi pond install for Archer. Over beers, Archer had bragged. PR chick was too clingy. Told her we'd do Greece. Ghosted before her passport even arrived. I asked Elio to send me the audio. Just in case. A week later, I invited Tessa to the lake. The same lake where we'd once dreamed aloud. Pockets empty, hearts full. She showed up wearing our past, white sneakers, denim jacket. I've been thinking a lot about how I lost myself. Lost you. He nodded. Pulled out my phone. Hit play. She flinched as Archer's voice filled the silence. When the clip ended, she looked shattered. You didn't lose me to your friends, Tessa. You gave me away. She reached for my hand. Understood. Goodbye. 9 months later, my business is thriving. I have 5 trucks, a warehouse, and contracts that keep rolling in. And someone new, Ria. A nurse who laughs at my jokes, gets her hands dirty in the garden, and never once asked what kind of car I drive. One morning, I saw Tessa across the street while trimming hedges in a new neighborhood. She looked over. Bill. A flicker of recognition in her eyes. She smiled faintly. I didn't. I nodded, turned back to the hedge, and trimmed a clean edge. Precise. Just like closure should be. Because at the end of the day, some people want luxury. Others build legacy.